having a homeschool lesson today of how to plant 50 tomato plants and teach them how to grow their own food. I'm going to show y'all how we plant our tomato plants right quick and our system that we've got going, and it's worked for us for years. So I'm just going to get right to it, okay? First of all, my husband bought me and fixed me up with this little neat contraption. We would take our shovel and we would dig our holes for our tomatoes, but this girl can't hardly work a shovel anymore, especially when you got hard compacted ground and it's hard to work with, and it's after it's been tilled or something and it gets rained on and packed down hard. So he bought me this little nifty contraption. Let me show you how it works. Ta-da! It's a little mini auger. And what you do is, he bought this at Tractor Supply. What you do is you hook it up to your drill, and I'm going to drill a hole right quick, and this is how we get all of our holes for our tomatoes. Yep, I got to do 50 of these. So, on your tomatoes, I kind of want my holes deep and wide. So, and the ground is just a little damp, which that's okay, that's how I like it. It's better to work with. Alright, I'm going to try to make it a little wide in there because I want my tomatoes to have just a little bit bigger hole so we can get those big babies down in there. Alright, so next thing I'm going to do is I make my own homemade fertilizer for my tomatoes. Look, let me tell y'all some secrets. Study up on homemade fertilizers for tomatoes, Epsom salts, and baking soda. Epsom salts, I can't explain the science behind it, but it really does wonders for your tomatoes. It's an antifungal for one thing, and it helps fight off a lot of diseases that tomatoes get, like blossom end rot, powdery mildew, all of those. The baking soda helps cut down on some of the acidity and makes your tomatoes not have such a bitter taste. We grow better boys and beefsteaks. Hello, Kitty. I knew you'd be out here in just a minute. We grow better boys and beefsteaks. This year I'm trying some Roma tomatoes, but I will put a tablespoonful. Let me get out a little bit of dirt because you want your tomatoes deep to get a good. Thank you for helping. Thank you, Annie. You want your tomatoes to develop a good root system, okay? Deep and a good root system. So I put a tablespoon of our fertilizer down in the. You made me miss the hole, Annie. Get your little head back. Get back. Okay? Now, with any fertilizer, I don't care if it's homemade or store-bought, you do not want your fertilizer touching the roots of your plant because it will burn them. You don't want any fertilizer touching your leaves on your plant. It will burn them. Okay, move, Annie. So I'm going to put back a little bit of dirt in the hole. Ooh, this is kind of, the garden hadn't dried up a whole bunch. Okay? I'm going to fit my glove back on right quick because I'm already getting muddy hands. Hold on just a second. Hold on, I'm going to put the camera right here. Let me put my glove back on. You want to take a selfie, Annie? You want a selfie? There you go, I got you. Okay, now we're going to take our tomato plant and we're going to put it down into the hole. Here's the secret with tomatoes. You want to cover your tomato plant. You want to take off at least the bottom 3 or 4 branches of your tomato plant. And the reason you do this is because, Amy, stop. I don't have time to play, farm cat. You want your tomatoes to, the dirt, the levelness, see right here, the levelness of the hole. You want your tomato plant to be buried some of this stem. This will create a bigger root ball system and come on up, and it will make your tomatoes grow bushy and tall, put out green leaves. Awesome. Annie, quit. I'm going to knock your little head off. Okay. Now, you want to stand up your plant. I got it. It's a little fallen over this morning. Okay, now just push your dirt back in the hole, and I'll show you something else. Get it back in the hole. I got hay around here because I've got pepper plants planted right beside them. Planting tomatoes and peppers together is very good. They help ward off the same insects. Kitty cat. Okay, now I've got that one pretty deep right there. And that's awesome. Get some more dirt. It's gonna, no, Annie. It's gonna rain tonight, so I need to make sure they're very protected. They're gonna stand up like good little soldiers. Okay, I'm getting a little bit of hay in there, and that's okay. Now, the next thing you want to do, you want to take off any leaves that don't look so good. Oh, she just broke one of my branches. Annie, don't look all cute. Okay, she just broke off a top branch right there. Okay, see these leaves that are already getting kind of like that? Pinch them off. Just pinch them off. Now you want to look for suckers in the middle of your plant. Suckers are going to be little plants that try to grow right in that fork right there on your main stem and a branch coming out. You will want to pinch those out. You don't need them. It will take up a lot of nutrients that don't need to be there. Okay, the next thing I do, since it is fixing to rain tonight and tomorrow, I'm going to go ahead and use a commercial fertilizer that we buy from Co-op. This is 15-15-15. At your local Co-op, it'll be called 15-15. At Tractor Supply, it may be called something else. But it's 15 calcium, 15 nitrogen, and 15... potassium, nitrogen, and phosphorus. And it's an equal portion of each, 15, 15, 15. So I'm going to take a little, and I'm just going to sprinkle it around. Do not let any of it touch the plant. But I want to go ahead and get these off to a good start. So I'm going to sprinkle around some fertilizer. This is also called as a side dressing. I do this when I plant. I do this when I start seeing flowers or blooms, or it's starting to put off the blooms that produces the fruit. It's called a side dressing. I will do this 2 or 3 times during the growing process. And then what we're going to do is after we get all these planted, we're going to cover them up with hay like we have done all the rest of our garden. This is something we're trying new this year. And for one thing, I'm getting to where I can't hardly run my tiller anymore. I've got strong boys that help me, but sometimes they're not here, and it just kills me. My arthritis, it just kills me, and I can't hardly move the next day. So we're trying something different this year. I bought a big old round bale of hay over there from a buddy of our oldest sons that has a farm, and we're going to eventually have this whole garden covered in hay. Now, something else we do for our tomatoes that we started doing a couple of years ago, and it's worked out perfect. We used to do the old method of staking them with T-post and tying them up and all such as that, but we discovered this. Oh, pothole, almost fell in it. We discovered this. Cattle panels. You're welcome. I love this method. You put up your T-post and your cattle panels, which is easy for us. I use these little plastic ties from Walmart or the hardware store. We clamp them to the fence. I got 2 strong boys out here one day to hook me up with these fences. We got the T-post in the ground. We got the cattle panels up. We started planting. I plant the tomatoes. Let me go back around my radishes and my carrots here. Hey, turn old things into containers for things you want to plant. But we got our peppers on this side, right down in through there. Sometimes they can get huge, okay, and they may need to be tied. Some of ours do. We grow Marconis, and some of them have to be tied too. Then when we'll finish this row, I had some spots left. I'm going to finish with some tomatoes. Then, ow, pothole again. Then, see, I told y'all going to get raw footage out here. I might trip and fall a few times out here and bust my tail, but maybe I won't get that on camera. Okay, I'm going to come back up this side right here, and we're going to go all the way up this fence. Like I said, we got 50 plants to go. all the way up there. If I run out, we're going to come down this side. Woo! I have Roma tomato plants growing inside. I think about maybe 30 Roma tomato plants. So after we use up this space, we'll start with Romas. We'll come up this side, finish with Romas. If I need that panel right there, I'll have that to finish up some more. But as these tomato plants grow and they get huge, we will use, like right here, the stems, and we will tie the main branch, your main stem, and as it grows, we will tie it to this and stake it and hold it up and support it. This is our trellis, and it's worked for us for years. So then if there's any branches that come off of the stem that's heavy and get it overloaded with tomatoes, we will pick it up a little and tie it somewhere to support it, because you don't want branches touching the ground. The reason why is because tomatoes picks up mold really quick, mold spores from the ground, and if they're touching the ground, water, rain, splashes, fungus and stuff like that onto the bottoms of your plant right here. So the next thing we're going to do is we are going to come in here and we're going to pick these up. Well, I got to get some more hay. We're going to pick these up and we're going to put some hay around it to kind of keep the water from splashing up so bad on the plants, splashing up, fungus and stuff that may be in the soil or anything like that. So we're going to cover all these up with hay, just a little light covering, because tonight, like we did our peppers, because tonight it's supposed to get just a little chilly, and I do not want them getting a shock because they've been indoors this whole time. So I don't want my tomatoes to get a shock tonight. So we're going to kind of give them a little jacket tonight, protect them, and then just a little light layer, nothing that's going to break them and push them down and bog them down, just a little light layer of something for tonight. And then, so yeah, we got 50 of these babies to go. I got some help coming on the way. My little buddies are coming to help me. We're going to have a homeschool lesson in science today, and my daughter-in-law's going to come and help me. She wants to learn how to do all this stuff, so I might make her sweat just a little bit. I don't think I'm going to have to water these as much today because my ground is still a little wet, and we got rain moving in tonight, so they're going to get watered. I'm just going to be praying that they're going to be okay tonight. That's another reason why I'm going to cover up with some hay, is because we're supposed to have some thunderstorms tonight, and I don't want the rain just pelting my plants down. I spent too much money for these. I tried growing tomatoes from seed back in March. For some reason, I just didn't have any luck. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I don't have a greenhouse. I try to grow them inside. They started sprouting. They started looking wonderful. Got to like little transplants. And then all of a sudden, they just wilted, and I don't know what happened. I don't know if it was too much water or not enough water. I mean, I try to keep up on it. But I can grow plants all day long outside. House plants, I'm going to leave that to the experts, which would be my mother. She's the house plant queen. There's plants all in her house. Me? But they can't grow an outside garden. For one thing, they don't have the right soil. They've got that old red clay soil, and they have trouble growing things. I can do the outside stuff, not the inside. Go figure. Okay? Now next, my mother and them, they can grow some fruit. They've got some grapevines. They have access to picking blackberries. They had some blackberry bushes at one time. They've got access to blackberries, pears, muscadines. My mother's the jelly-making queen. Jellies, butters, jams. Yeah. So we make trades. My parents and them have started having to eat healthier, and we share with my parents. We share with our widowed neighbors, and we don't just do this for ourselves. We try to help our neighbors, and we try to make Be good stewards. And I'll show y'all something while I got time before my little buddies get here. I know, you just got settled and got in my lap. Now I got to get up. Poor spoiled kitty. Okay, I'm going to show y'all something. What our garden used to look like years ago before we had to downsize. Okay? I'm going to show you how big it used to be. I'm not bragging, but I hate that we've had to downsize. I don't like defeat, okay? But when you get health issues, you got to know your limits, okay? So I'm going to show y'all where we used to start our garden. This is what it looks like now. Hold on, I'll turn the camera around. Whew. I'm out of breath already. Okay. Sorry, allergies. All this pollen out here. Okay. This year, don't mind the electric fence. This is something we've had to do this year. We've never had to have an electric fence. I'm just going to tell you, everything's always been open. But for some reason, last year, the deer ate my whole garden down. I'm not exaggerating when I say that. Let me tell you, we had peppers, tomatoes, corn, broccoli, cauliflower, same thing I grow every year. The deer got in here in one night, ate down every broccoli plant, every cauliflower plant. I was so heartbroken. Tried to keep them out. It didn't work. They just came right back. I saw deer hooves all in the garden. We tried everything. Look, we have deer. We target practice out here, okay? We're Second Amendment rights, okay? I'm not going to get into that. I don't like debates. We target practice out here on our property. Our neighbors do. We take up for one another. We look out for one another. We're like neighborhood watch out here. My husband was out in the woods target practicing, okay? Off in the distance are the targets, right out there. This deer comes out of nowhere, walks plumb up to the target, sniffs of it. Are you kidding me? She wasn't scared at all. She'd been hearing the pings, ping, 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 ping every time he made the target. She wasn't scared at all. She just walked right up to that target, sniffed of it like, you're pretty cool. And then it's like she just looked up here like she knew where it was coming from. She didn't flinch. She wasn't scared. So my husband was waiting for her, go on, so I can finish. And she wasn't scared, y'all. These deer out here are not scared of gunshots. They hear them all the time. They're not scared of them. We have dogs down here. We got 3 dogs. They just walk up to the fence. Hello, my name is such and such. Talks to them. They're not scared of our dogs. Nothing. So, yeah, trying to come up with things to keep them out of the garden has been a hassle. That has been since we've lived here and gardened, that is the first year we've ever had this problem with deer getting into our garden. They ate down all my pepper plants. They ate down every single tomato plant. I'm talking, ate the whole plant, down to the nub, down to the ground. They ate it. Some of them, they jerked plumb up out of the ground. Our corn, 6 beautiful rows of corn. I labored and toiled all summer, tilling, fertilizing, hoeing, taking care of, watering. The night before we were getting ready to harvest, raccoons and deer possibly got in and ate every single corn cob. Damn. We had nothing that year. I was heartbroken. We had nothing. We had to go buy everything. My help is coming, and I don't want them to see me on camera. I'm embarrassed. I'm shy. So I will do a garden tour later, and I will show y'all what all we do. I'll show you our equipment, and I'll show you everything. So where my help is coming, we're going to get started out here. Look, she already thinks I'm crazy with this camera. I'm embarrassed. Okay, we're going to get started out here, and I will see y'all later.